Welcome to the Mesonet Weather Report. I'm Wes Lee. It's not uncommon for Oklahoma temperatures to seesaw back and forth from week to week. This past week, we were on the cool side of the seesaw. Average daily temperatures shown by the blue line were several degrees below the long-term average, indicated by the dark fill. Wheat planting is just around the corner. The average wheat variety tends to germinate best with a soil temperature between 54 and 77 degrees. At Mesonet, we utilize probes at 2, 4, 10, and 24-inch depths and under both bare and sod-covered soil to determine soil temperatures. That brings up the question, which one should I follow to determine when to plant? Bare soil tends to fluctuate dramatically with sunshine. You can see this by the brown line indicating 4-inch temperatures at El Reno. The 2-inch depth also tends to change fairly rapidly with weather changes. Therefore, we typically advise to look at a 4-inch depth and look at the 3-day average map like shown here from Wednesday to make decisions. Using bare or sod may depend on your farming practices, clean till or no till. While we might be close to wheat planting temperatures now, next week's return to hot, dry weather will definitely heat soils back up for a while. Gary's up next with a focus on rainfall.
Thanks, Wes, and good morning, everyone. Well, it might seem strange, but even though we've had quite a bit of rain over parts of the state over the last week, we still had some worsening conditions on the Drought Monitor report. Let's take a look at the latest map and see where we're at. Well, the real worsening comes up in the Oklahoma Panhandle, in the western Panhandle, parts of western Texas, and in much of Cimarron County. We did see those D0 conditions, or the abnormally dry conditions. So not drought yet, but they did start to pop up in that region of the state. We had a little bit of improvement down in southeastern Oklahoma, a little bit of improvement up in northwest Oklahoma, but the rains just happened to barely miss parts of those regions. So we'll have to see what we get coming up next week. Hopefully we can start to pound some of that drought out in these new locations. The worsening conditions do show up just a little bit on the latest topsoil moisture report from the USDA. We see another 3% of the state added to the percent short to very short for the topsoil moisture. So at 39%, again, not too bad for this time of year, certainly better than some of our neighbors, but we do need some rain to keep those numbers from going up too much further. Now, speaking of the rainfall that went into that new U.S. Drought Monitor map, we do see some really good totals down across southwestern Oklahoma, west central Oklahoma, and in a broad region of southeast Oklahoma. Just happens that the part of the state down there where the drought conditions are moderate, the heavier rains just happen to miss that region. So when we start to look down in that area, we do need some of those darker greens and the yellows and reds start to show up. Hopes for rain continue to increase as we get into the last week of August. We do see greatly increased odds of above normal precipitation across Oklahoma for that period, especially across the northwestern part of the state. So hopefully some of those rains can hit some of those drought areas up in that region. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time on the Mesonet Weather Report.